How important is luck? Luck is obviously a factor that influences your success in almost anything. What kind of career you'll have, whether your business is successful, whether you'll meet the perfect spouse, or what kind of children you have, or the life outcomes that you'll experience. Luck matters a great deal. And I think that in order to understand how we should act and think about the world, we have to understand how luck works. And to do this, I'd like to kind of separate luck into three different things because we tend to talk about it as if it's just one big factor that influences our life. And of course, it's not. It's many things. Randomness occurs for many different reasons, and it has also different ways that we should react to it depending on what is the source and the cause. Today, I'd just like to talk about three different sources of luck and how you can split these apart to recognize that yes, life is not fair, that there is a great deal of luck and it does influences the outcomes you experience, but it does so in different ways. So the first kind of luck I want to talk about is the luck that occurred before you even came into this world. These are the things that you know now that have already happened. The dice have already been rolled, the coins have already been flipped, and you already know what the outcome is. But nonetheless, there was a considerable amount of chance and fortune involved in just getting you to become a being on this planet. Think about the luck of what kind of parents you had, what kind of cognitive abilities you were endowed with. Were you endowed with physical stamina, or did you have any kind of physical disadvantages? Which country were you born in? Were you the nationality of a country where it was relatively easy to be successful or much, much harder? All of these things influenced who you were before the moment you came into this earth, but they are not things that you had any control over. So I think when people talk about the unfairness of life at a societal level, often they're talking about this kind of luck. The person born to rich parents has a greater advantage in life than someone born to destitute parents. Someone born with an IQ in the 160s is going to have advantages over someone who is a little slow. So all of these types of luck influence you, but there are also things that you, right now in your position in life, know where you stand. Those dice and coins have already been tossed, and you know what the luck turned out how it was. Now, this doesn't make it any more fair, but it does mean that it's something known right now. So going into your future decisions, this is no longer something that is for up to chance, but something that you already know. So this is this first type of luck, which I think is probably the majority of the luck we experience, is the luck that had to happen for us to be the particular people that we were born on this earth. There's another two types of luck, and I'm going to call these the types of luck that occur after you've come into existence. And these are the things that really do have an element of chance. They're something that even though you exist in this world, you don't know how your decisions are going to come about. You don't know the outcomes of the actions you're going to take. You don't know whether the goals you set are going to be successful or failures, or whether the business you start is going to become something huge, or whether it's going to make you bankrupt. You don't know whether this person you're dating right now is going to become your future spouse, or whether they're going to cheat on you and disappoint you. These kinds of luck are also important, although I do think they are smaller than that first kind of luck. But importantly, I think there's two kinds here. And because we're looking at forward decision making, I think these two kinds are very important. The first subtype of this future-oriented luck is things that are purely based on chance. Now, it doesn't have to be pure randomness in the sense that there was some quantum fluctuation that if it had done differently, you would have had some different outcome, although that might happen in some scenarios. It could just be that the actual events that cause it are so difficult to predict, so difficult to imagine, that it's really hard to know what's going to happen. So gambling is the perfect example of this type of luck. If you buy a lottery ticket, whether you win or not is not really under your control in any meaningful sense. There's a great deal of chance that's going to happen there, but there's nothing really you can do to improve your odds of winning the lottery. Similarly, if your career depended on having a chance encounter with someone important at a very particular time period so that they offered you the right job which catapulted your success, and had you not met that person, you wouldn't have achieved the success that you achieved, then this is also that kind of luck, the lottery ticket type luck. But there's this third type of luck, of this future-oriented luck, which is where things happen in unpredictable ways, but not because they're not deterministic, not because they're not knowable, but just because it's difficult to learn how the environment works. So the example that brought this discussion, which got this idea in my mind, was I was talking about business success, talking about success in starting the kind of business that I'm in right now. And it took me a long time to figure out how to run a successful blog and online business. And it's also one where most people who try it end up failing. Most people who dabble in blogging or online business don't become full-time professionals at it. And I think there's a lot of careers that are like this, whether you're an artist, musician, actor, entrepreneur, what have you, where only a small percentage of people inevitably succeed. And this is the kind of thing that from the outside looks like just luck like the first kind, that just some people just had the right opportunities and they became successful at it, and other people didn't have those opportunities and they didn't become successful at it. However, and I know this is something that I can't possibly prove, but just something that I feel in my gut, that if I had to go back and start over from scratch where I was right now, but I had the knowledge that I have right now, so I don't have any of the assets, don't have any of the connections, don't have the audience or fame, I think I could rebuild a blog to roughly the size and scale and success that I've experienced today, starting over in new conditions. Now, the reason that I feel this way is because I think that even though blogging does have this element of success, that some people succeed and some people don't, my feeling is that the success that you experience is mostly deterministic, meaning that if you were to succeed once, you would probably succeed every time if we ran the simulation over and over again. The difference is that it's hard to learn what you need to do to succeed. It's hard to figure out what is the kind of content I need to produce? What is the kind of business I need to run? What are the skills that I need? And because these both take a long time to learn and they're difficult to learn, and it's very easy to get into dead ends. It's very easy to work for years on a direction that turns out to be fruitless. So this latter kind of luck sounds a lot like the lottery type luck. And really, when you view it from an objective, outside, third person perspective, kind of is. They both indicate a kind of fundamental unfairness, that some people just happen to figure out how success works in a domain and they become successful, and other people don't figure it out and they get into dead ends, or they just don't get the opportunities, and so they don't become successful. And so if we're viewing this from the question of how should society be organized, obviously these are all different types of unfairness. Whether you're born with advantage, whether you get advantage from pure chance, or whether you get advantage because society managed to give you a position where you could figure out how things worked and thus achieve success, these are all types of unfairness. However, in the same sense, this third type of unfairness, this third type of luck, I think suggests something very different for how you should behave. Because this third type of luck you should experience, it means that you need to invest time in understanding it. That the larger you think this type of luck is in the domain of success that you're considering, it means that instead of just trying out something and if it didn't work, giving up, that you should invest a lot more effort. You should really strive to understand. You should really seek every possible advantage you can. You should really apply yourself to understand how success works. Now, where do these three lucks come into play? Well, the first type of luck is profoundly unfair, but it's also something that is known at this point in time. As I said, just to be that one sperm that fertilized the egg is a phenomenally lucky event. For you to be the exact person you are and not someone slightly different. Similarly, to have been born in the country you're born, to the parents you had, to any advantages or disadvantages, these are all things that you know and understand right now. In contrast, the future-oriented luck is really what we're talking about when we're saying, for you right now, what is the uncertainty underlying your decisions? If we're talking about making a choice and whether or not it'll turn out well, that mostly depends on this future-oriented luck. And now the question is it mostly this pure random chance, or mostly this kind of learnable, discoverable luck that looks like just random chance, but if you really know how it works, it's entirely deterministic? Now, I don't really have any scientific proof for this, but my feeling is that in most domains that you're considering, most things that you want to be lucky with, I do believe it is the latter. Now, I don't think that that's universally true. As I said, lottery tickets, gambling, there's many things that are purely chance that you can't really control. However, I think assuming we take it on a domain by domain basis and we don't try to create a blanket statement saying all things are alike, I think that this latter type of luck is probably what dominates. And that is what informs my view of the world, one which, it is unfair. We need to be humble about our successes because a lot of our successes are based on advantages that we didn't really earn, that luck that had been already determined when we came into this earth. But at the same time, we also need to be strivers. We need to be flexible and thinking intelligently and working hard to figure out how success works in domains, because I do believe that a lot of seemingly random domains, if you truly understand them, become deterministic. So what do you think about this kind of luck? What do you think about the difference between inherited luck, future-oriented chance, and luck that is deterministic but is masked because of how complicated and confusing it is? Share your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for listening.